Hello again from my front porch. Well, today I have a really extra special guest. Flew him all the way in from Long Beach, California. Please welcome to the front porch and back to his home, my son, Alex Smith. Yay! Not to be confused with Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, I would understand the confusion.
Yeah,
I would get it.
Yeah. Equally cool and talented, right?
Superior athletes.
Yeah. Like your Sam Crow hat you got there.
Yeah.
We watched a little bit of that Sons of Anarchy, if you're not familiar. I only know that because of him, because he's introduced me to the cool stuff. See, what else? You introduced me to Supernatural originally. Introduced me to Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
The Monkeys.
You didn't introduce me to the Monkeys. That's mine. I claim that one. I was thinking there's something else. Oh, the Lord of the Rings movies, too.
Okay.
You like those? But yeah, and I wouldn't have watched him if he wasn't into them. So yeah. See, what a strong influence you've been.
Yeah.
On your old dad. Yes. So Alex is back. Alex is actually back. He actually moved back from California this week. And just to show how much better we are out here in Iowa. Out in California, you were working for what, 2 or 3 weeks trying to land a really decent job out there.
Yeah.
And it was, they're all yanking around playing games. We'll talk to you, and then maybe we'll have something in a month. It's like, that's not very helpful. He comes back here. He flew back, got back Wednesday night, and the very next day he had an interview. And already now, just a couple of days later, he now has the job. Score. Good job. See, in Iowa, we do things the way they're supposed to be done. Good guy walks in the door. He's worth hiring. Hire him. Don't screw around. Just hire him, right?
Boom.
Yeah, all right. So, congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks.
All right. So, I thought it might be interesting, though, for Alex, because you were out there almost 2 years, wasn't it?
A year and a half, pretty much exactly.
Yeah. So, and during that time, Alex didn't have a car out there. He had a bike, and he rode his bike all over the place. What didn't you one time tell me that like a 50 miles in a day was just kind of an average day for you, or it wasn't a
30, 40, it kind of depends on the day. 30 to 40 was, it was average.
Mm-hmm.
That was very average.
Yeah, but there were a few days that he pushed the limit. That he rode up in the mountains or out to the beach area and stuff.
I rode. Let me
clarify.
I rode down the mountain.
Oh, not up.
I walked up the mountain.
And was that the time that you said you went too far and you really kind of regretted that you had gone as far as you did?
Yeah.
Because then you had to ride all the way back. Yeah.
I didn't make it all the way.
Sounds painful.
I had to get it right.
So I thought, though, it would be interesting that, since you were out in California, you had a chance to see a few things while you were out there during that time, to share with us a couple of things or a couple of places you went that you thought, these are really great places, that things you got to see when you're out in California.
So obviously we were just talking about this mountain I went to, Mount Wilson. I went there. I made the mistake of going there to see a waterfall during a drought period in California. So I made the whole journey there, but
wasn't much waterfall.
When I got there wasn't much to see. It was kind of a letdown, but it was a good day. It was an experience. But yeah, as we said, it was about 30 miles to get to the base of the mountain, and then it was another 2.5, 3 miles hiking up the road of the mountain just to get to where I would begin my hiking to get to this waterfall, which was another, I believe, 1.5 to 2 miles of hiking back down into the mountain. So that it was just a very exhausting day. I remember I was cramping up pretty hardcore about halfway through the climbing, and I still had to bike all the way back to Anaheim, which was another 30 miles. It was dark. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who I was.
I'm exhausted just hearing the story.
Yeah, sorry. It's a long story. That was the short version, though.
Yeah.
So that was a really good experience. I'd seen mountains before, but I don't think I'd ever been up in a mountain. So that was.
We don't have a lot of them here.
Yeah, I had a few firsts out in California. I'd been to Florida, so I'd seen the ocean before. I'd been to the ocean, But living in Long Beach, you can see Catalina Island, so was able to see my first island. Took my first boat ride that was actually on the ocean. There was a spot. I worked in a town called Fullerton, which is right next to Anaheim. You might be familiar with Anaheim. It's where Disney World is at. No, Disneyland. Disneyland, because Disney World is in Florida, and that's where I went. Anyway, so I was working in Fullerton, and in these different places they have the Fullerton, and then next to Fullerton is the Fullerton Hills. So I was up in the hills one day, and just kind of looking around. You can see a great 360 all around, just for miles and miles and miles, and I didn't really know what I was looking at, just kind of soaking it in awe of in what I was looking at. And this guy just comes riding up on his bike and kind of pointed a few landmarks out to me. He was pointing out to me you could see downtown LA, which was about 30 miles away from where we were at. And he's like, yeah, all those buildings over there, that's downtown LA. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's a big city over there. Mm-hmm. He pointed out, you couldn't really see it, but you could see some white markings, which he told me it was the Hollywood sign, which again is about 30 miles away from where I was. So I was impressed that we could see that far. I was chatting with him for a second, and it turned out he was actually from Iowa. Oh. I believe maybe he said his dad moved out from Iowa. And yeah, once they got to California, they decided it was the place to be. Which I can't argue with them. It was wonderful. I think the big downside of California is it gets a little too hot once in a while. The summers are brutal out there, and I have this very, very, very fragile white skin that turns red.
Iowa Midwest skin.
So I mean, as much as I love taking, I went on another. It was about 80 miles from where I lived in Anaheim. I biked up to Venice Beach and back. That was about an 80-mile day, and got a pretty good sunburn that day.
So you were in pain both from the muscles and from the sunburn.
No, I'm strong. The muscles were fine, but I did need to take a couple days to heal the skin a little bit.
So when you were thinking, when you were making plans to move back to Iowa, then,
yeah,
what were you looking forward to getting back here for? What were you thinking of back here in Iowa that was worth coming back to?
It was just family and friends, you know. Hinting, foreshadowing that I might be moving back to Iowa. I was talking to a few friends, some that I had been in close contact with, some that I hadn't been as in close contact with. And, I just got the same, everybody was just showing me love. Everybody seemed excited that I was going to be back. So that's what really got me looking forward to coming back. I knew it was going to be a challenge since it's still winter here.
Though it doesn't feel a lot like a traditional winter right at the moment.
Well, I mean, going from California where there is no winter. It's been a little shocking.
A little chilly.
The mornings, the nights, that's when it really starts kicking.
Well, and the evening that Alex got back, that Wednesday evening, we stepped out of the airport, and even though there wasn't any snow, there was a nice brisk wind blowing that night. A pretty strong, brisk wind.
I was prepared.
Yeah, he was wearing his longshoreman coat,
and a sweatshirt.
And a sweatshirt. But I think it was still a bit of a shock, a bit of a cold slap in the face, literally, when he stepped out into that wind. But you'll acclimate again.
Yeah, just a friendly reminder. Yeah. I was out on the bike yesterday and the day before that.
Yeah. It was even snowing, flurrying a little bit the first time he was out.
Went straight from sunshine to McFlurries.
McFlurries.
had no problem. I was a little ashamed of everybody out here. Honestly, I saw one person on the bike trails that was on a bike. Everybody else was just kind of walking around. Iowa, you need to get it together. I just got off a plane from California. If I can do it, you can do it.
So there. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep him any longer from this, but then maybe we'll have a chance to chat more.
It's kind of hot on the porch.
It is hot on the porch because I have the windows actually all closed right now on the porch. There's no breeze going through, and so it gets warm out here on the porch, even when it's cold outside, when the sun is shining on us, as you can see that it is pouring in from the side there. But anyway, thank you, Alex, for visiting with us a little bit.
Hey, thanks for having me on your front porch, sir.
Well, it is a lot of fun. See, and this is another plus of having him back. See, he can be on the front porch then. All right, so I'm going to let it go. No idea what I'm going to talk about next time. But tonight, if you're out and about and you're down on the south side of Des Moines, down Southwest 9th Street, my good friends Abby Normal are playing down at the Thirsty Sportsman tonight. So stop on down. And I'm going to be down there with a bunch of my friends. And we're going to have a good time hanging out with some friends down there and enjoying the great tunes of Abby Normal and Tim and Jana West, who run Abby Normal. Good job. Thanks you guys for being such great friends. So with that, let's go.
Adios.
See you next time from my front porch.